We know that you were born magical. We know that you are intuitive, and we know that you are brimming with everyday enchantment. Here at the Sisters Enchanted, we believe in intention, we believe in intuition, and we believe in everyday magic. Welcome in to the Expedition to Soul podcast. Welcome to this episode of the Expedition to Soul podcast. I'm Sarah, founder of the Sisters Enchanted. And in this podcast, myself and all of Team Sisters Enchanted, we are sharing our favorite things to do for Ostara and the welcoming of the spring season. Now, for us, we look at Ostara as the marker of the beginning of the integrate sort of season of the year. Now, we talk about our intention to intuition framework, which is what we base our holistic witchery program on. And we have Yule to Ostara as our intention setting period. From Ostara down to Letha, the longest day of the year, we look at that as our integrate time of the year. So this encompasses Ostara, Beltane, and then ends with the longest day of the year. Now, here at Ostara, we do, why am I saying it like that? Ostara. I apologize. At Ostara, we have this light and dark coming together, and we see the opportunity to plant seeds for this time ahead. So what I love to do with this Ostara energy is consider what intentions I was thinking about, what I was kind of ruminating on for this last few months of this cycle of the seasons from Yule to Ostara. And then from here, how am I taking that intention and planting the seed for it? From now through the middle of June, and we have that longest day of the year, from now until then, we are really going to work on like digging that in. We're going to do the hard work of making our intentions happen. We're going to till the soil, so to speak, plant the seed, water it, and make it grow. It's about integrating and taking action. And this all starts with this Ostara period. So for me, what I love to do at Ostara, again, is look at these intentions. What was I considering? What am I actually going to move forward with? Because the reality is we can't do everything. We can't move forward with everything. So picking one thing and what am I going to move forward with? That's what I'm going to think about here at Ostara. And then I'm going to do a little bit of solar work and consider what are the steps that I have to take to make this happen. And then that lunar aspect, what's it going to feel like? And sort of moving forward from there. So taking my intentions and what steps do I have to take to actually plant the seed? And then how am I going to feel like after it's planted? And this next time period really is about momentum, about moving. It's the time to get moving again. It's also a great time with this Ostara energy coming in to make the big changes in your life, changes that require action. So if you're making changes that require, changing a job, changing your diet in some way, changing where you live, changing relationships, changing your hair, whatever it is, this is a great time for that because you're taking these action steps. It's really like doing things. This is the energy that Ostara brings, the energy of doing things. And it's a fertile season. We think of bunnies and eggs and the egg association for that fertility and bunnies. And we know the whole thing about, bunnies have all these babies. So this idea of planting seeds, growing things, bringing things to life. That's what I like to look at. It's just doing that work around what intentions am I actually going to work on and how am I going to bring them into being? And that's what I love to do at Ostara. And of course, just open my windows and bring in some of that spring energy that I have been longing for all winter long. All right, I'm going to toss it to the next member of Team TSE and see what they have to say about Ostara.
Hey everyone, so I just want to share with you my little ritual that I do for Ostara. I actually found in my Nordic practices a ritual that was practiced in Sweden. It's called the Disting or the Distilled Blood. And what that is it's honoring the spirits, the feminine spirits, the Disir, particularly the ones in the woods, the ones that would bring in life and vitality and representative of animals and creation and all that kind of, basically the epitome of a feminine energy, a feminine spirit. So what they would typically do is they would make a stone altar I happen to have this downed tree here in my woods that it's perfect for an outside altar. So I use this, but you can make it out of stone, wood, anything of that sort. And then what they would do historically is they would make an animal sacrifice. That's not something we practice in modern times, but they would also put in fruits and vegetables and anything with seeds that would represent some kind of birth and creation. Because the idea is too, you wanted the animals to come to your altar, because then it showed that the Disir, the feminine energies, the feminine spirits, would be responding to your offering. So the animals would come and eat it. So you wanted to attract other things to it. So what they typically did is after they set up their altar and they put everything up, they would walk around the altar 3 times in the rotation of counterclockwise, because that's the rotation of life and bringing things in. So you can make your altar, you can walk around it, you can walk in front of it, like you don't have to go around it. You can even just get like your pendulum or even a pendant or anything of that sort, or you can get like a little crystal necklace and you can spin it around counterclockwise in front of the altar. And the idea is to show gratitude for those feminine spirits, those feminine energies. Like when my husband does this with me, he'll actually wear like a nice shirt. He'll kind of come all dressed up and he's like, I got to impress the Disir. I got to impress the feminine spirits. So I got to make sure feminine energies are happy with me. So he'll typically actually dress in a nice shirt. Basically, he knows anything that I would like, me being a woman, be like, okay, well, I know she would like some flowers and some fruit, and, I give some ale and all that other kind of stuff. So typically, I guess the things I would like, I would give as an offering. But again, you want things that represent vitality. Like it ties back to Ostara and her, springtime and the growth and the nurturing and all that kind of stuff with it. It's giving like a nice hopeful glimpse of like, come on, keep bringing the warmer weather. So, but also typically after they walked around, they would sing, they would blow horns, something of that sort. I just got like this little bell that I hang out here and stuff. So I actually leave that and I let it kind of, as the wind blows and stuff, it helps. And I'm going to hope that maybe I have some rabbits or something out here that are going to come take it. I have deer and a whole bunch of other stuff, but rabbits haven't seen in a while. I also gave a little bit, I have my own little bundle I made here. I have a couple of cedar trees in front of my house, and when they lose branches, I will typically bundle up the branches and make my own little offerings and stuff. And then last thing that I do is I will use, this is basically my shaman's equivalent of holy water. So I will typically just put it across the altar, giving it as an offering. You can do this with wine, you can do this with holy water, you can do this with spring water, anything of that sort. You're also giving some water, which is sustainable for its feminine energy, its life-giving, and all that stuff. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you around the groups. Bye.
Hi, it's Brandy here with Team TSE, and I am sharing my tip for Ostara this year. Something that I do actually quarterly with every solstice is I like to clean and cleanse and kind of freshen up my front door. It is the first place that you see every day when you come up to your home or other people do. So that energy that you see when you come in is going to kind of follow you right into the house. And so I like to freshen it up for Ostara especially. So things that I might do is use some sort of charged water, make a holistic potion, wipe down the edges of my door. I like to use a holistic all-purpose glass cleaner on my door itself and make sure that it's clear and transparent. And then there's 2 other things I do. I make either a new sigil or I freshen it up. I use chalk on the bottom of my doormat before people walk into my house for some protection. And then also as far as my front door goes, there's always a little broom, but if you're in the broom closet, the other thing that I always incorporate into my front door is something seasonal. So right now, there's some of the wood element out there from where we're just coming out of that kind of wintry type energy. So what I will put out there now is like a yellow wreath. I have a green butter, a dragonfly type thing. And then I also have a yellow wreath that is like for Cynthias here in Ohio where I am. We watch for the first Cynthias to bloom, and we know after the 3rd bloom that the snow is in theory gone. And so far that hasn't steered me too wrong. So just to repeat, since I can sometimes ramble, I like to give my door a nice wash. I like to put a sigil for protection down, and then I like to incorporate something for the season, symbolic of it, like the forsythias for Ostara on my front door, and it changes the energy and gives good flow for when you're walking in and coming up to your home, so that you don't need to sit out in the car for 20 minutes getting the courage to walk in. If you're a mom, you probably know what I'm talking about. So that's all I got for you. Have a happy Ostara.
Think about what life would look like if you had the foundation to do the shadow work, understand where you're holding yourself back, and the confidence to bring some everyday magic elements into your life, follow your intuition, and know exactly the steps forward for you. Well, that's what we teach you and more in our Holistic Witchery program. Be sure to get on the wait list for Holistic Witchery. It's the one class we think everybody should take here at the Sisters Enchanted. It has changed so many lives and is at the core of all of our fundamental beliefs about who we are and how we propel ourselves forward in a way that makes great change for ourselves and those around us. Check out holisticwitchery.com, get on the wait list, and we can't wait to welcome you into class just as soon as enrollment opens.
Hey everybody, Anna with the Sisters Enchanted here, and I'm just hopping in to give you a little tip for something that you can do for Ostara, or an idea of things to do for Ostara, or a tip for Ostara, if I can say Ostara. So Ostara is, this kind of reining in of the longer days, the warmer seasons, spring and growth. So one of my tips for you is, besides, maybe getting some houseplants to grow your intentions with, or to rein in some springtime to show the physical growth of something, you can get a houseplant or start a garden, or make a little fairy garden, but also to get up early. As I said, Ostara is really, it's this kind of turn of the days. It's getting lighter. We're bringing in the springtime. It's going to be less cold. And right now in the wintertime, if it's wintertime where you are, the days are long and our days are short and dark and gloomy. And my little tip for you is to get yourself something to drink, whether it be your cup of coffee or a really refreshing glass of lemon water, but it's to go sit by a window and greet the day as early as you can and catch that sun while it's rising and really start getting in tune with that lighter day, the longer days, and really taking the day by the reins. So that's my Ostara tip. Greet the day during the springtime, and especially on the day of Ostara.
Hi, I'm Danielle from Team TSE, and I'm going to share some of my Ostara tips with you. Of everyone at the Sisters Enchanted, I've been celebrating the Sabbats for the least amount of time, so my tips are kind of more entry level, I guess. I look at the Spring Equinox as a great time to do some spring cleaning, deep cleaning. I like to really eliminate any kind of dust and debris that's kind of built itself up over the winter from my workspace. Primarily, I look at it as a great opportunity to wash the curtains and dust the corners that may have been ignored over the winter months. I also like to do a lot of outdoor cleaning as well. So as you can see behind me, there's some snow from a recent snowfall, but I look at it as an opportunity to clean up sticks and anything that may have fallen over winter storms from the yard to get the grass ready to be able to grow and prosper in the spring and be ready for the first time it gets cut. I also like to give my car a deep cleaning. We live in New England, at least me and Sarah and Anna and Christina all live in New England, and we have those harsh salt on our car after the winter months. I like to give my car a nice deep cleaning, a good wash, a good vacuum, and get all of that winter grossness out of my car. For the most part, that's pretty much it. Just a lot of cleaning, both indoor and outdoor, to get ready for the warmer days ahead.
Well, the sun is brighter out there and spring is coming and Ostara is coming and I'm getting super excited. So my Ostara tip, well, I love making lovely chocolate cake. Every year I make a chocolate cake for my family with little sugar eggs all around. So that's a good tip. Make a really good chocolate cake and just cover it with those little mini eggs. That's really, really, really popular in my house. That we could not have an Ostara without the chocolate egg cake for sure. I think another thing is just to I love it, Ostara, to go looking around and just taking a walk in the nature and just seeing all the lovely new life, and just really enjoying that fact that we're celebrating this rebirth and re-life and new life and things just re-emerging from the winter, and I just love that. It's like things are really full on blooming and so alive, and so I always spend some time. I like to collect buds, and in the UK we call them catkins, a little one of long buds that come off the trees. I like to collect those and put them in my house just to remind myself of this beautiful kind of burst into life. And so wherever there's anything that's been stagnant in my own life, then I can think about how I'm bursting it into life, into this kind of beautiful new colour and vitality and all that good stuff. So really is that kind of especially because we've been brought up in a very Christian household, that real life after death, things emerging from the darkness, really, but in a really kind of bang, wow, it's just so exciting and so vital and so full of life. So chocolate cake covered in eggs and collecting all these things in nature, all these kind of wonderful new life, and filling your home with it and filling your life with it. Have a really happy Ostara.
Thank you for listening in to all of our tips, our ideas, and our thoughts on Ostara in this time of year. We really appreciate it. Over on the blog, the notes that come with this episode, you can find a free printable guide with all sorts of ideas about working with Ostara energy and celebrating it in your home. If you have little ones in your house like I do, you can bring them into a lot of this fun also, and just really enjoy opening up those windows, feeling the idea that spring is here, and taking action to create whatever it is that you want to create in your life. So be sure to head to thesistersenchanted.com/blog, where you can find that information. While you're there, be sure to get on the wait list for Holistic Witchery at holisticwitchery.com. In that program, you're going to learn all about setting intentions and working with this energy of the intention to intuition framework. We've had over 700 people go through this program, and we're really excited to bring in a new group coming up soon. And last but not least, if you have not checked out our book yet, go to 21dayselfcare.com to learn more about that and get your hands on a book. All right. Thank you again for listening into this episode. Ostara blessings to everybody. And I'll see you on the next episode of the Expedition to Soul podcast.